there guys, welcome back. This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to create a quick and dirty comp done in Nuke. We're just going to take two images and we're just going to create a little bit of a story behind it. So I thought, okay, let's do it like a classic alien invasion stuff. So what I'm going to do is I copied the file structure that I gave you guys for your project, and I made an extra copy. Okay, obviously you're gonna have yours like this with this, and it's gonna have data composite project underscore your name, the seed number, and you're gonna have all these folders. I opened the dummy script final, which is the one that you can see open here in the background, and I put two images here at the moment. These two images. Okay, so I'm gonna pretty much put this. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. So I think large here. So you can see that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these two images I found on the internet, city and UFO. And I'm just gonna put this guy here between these two, between this building here in the back, and it's gonna be a quick thing to do, okay? And then I'm gonna show you the end wall, the stuff I put together, and then I'm probably gonna be able to provide you with the actual comp file. You can play around with it a little bit. So okay, so what I do again, I put it here in this folder, Photoshop matte painting art. So I just pretended that this is stuff that you've been working on, and probably this is gonna be your background, but when we get to the actual footage moving image, then we're gonna put it in the right container or in the right folder. Okay, so I'm guessing ideally this folder should be in this file should be in the original footage sequence here, because that's what the original footage of the background you're gonna start putting stuff on. And then imagine that this is the stuff that you created, and it's a matte painting in Photoshop, or you can just put it here into 3D renders. Actually, let's put it there. It's sort of bothering me. I'm just gonna take this guy here, just gonna cut it, and just gonna put it here in the original footage, and then imagine that's your background, and then here, because this is something that I render out, and I render in RenderMan, for example, I'm gonna put it here in 3D renders. Okay, so I'm gonna put it here in the background, so that's fine. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to I got the dummy thing open here, so I'm gonna set up the system that I showed you the last tutorial, how to create that everything looks at the actual file name. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna open read, and this is going to be here. I think this is the wrong one. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here into the actual file. I'm gonna go here, which is the file structure. I'm gonna open the wrong folder. I'm gonna open the 3D render. I'm just gonna drag this guy here, which I can show you last week, and I'm just gonna drag this guy right there. Okay, so we got the two folders now. So just remember that at the moment everything seems to be working, and that's because they are self-contained and they are all inside here, inside this. But look at all the paths. So it's all the path, data compositing, my hard drive, all the folders. So we don't want that, because like I said, if you go to another computer, this could be completely different, or if you move to a different folder or different folder structure within the computer, then you won't be able to find it. So what we have to do is do the little replacement things I told you last week. So just copy this thing, copy, just remember to get rid of this tick so it doesn't give you an error. So I'm just gonna go here, and this file is situated with this folder here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take here, I'm going to take everything from the sit down, delete it, just keep the actual original footage image sequence, because that's where the actual folder is. Just remember, we give you an error, we haven't sorted out, but just remember that here we are here with this script. So it's saying, hey, look at this script, look at the folder structure, go inside this image footage, original footage image sequence, and then find the file. So at the moment we're just gonna put it here, say Control V, paste it, get rid of the tick here, and then that should do it. And then now you see, now it's all working. So now in the future when we move around, you don't have to go and reconnect all the files, so it's all going to be taken care of. The same with this. So I'm just going to go here, because this is relative to 3D renders. So I just put this guy here, get rid of that, and voila, you got the stuff in there. So it's all now. So I can find it now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy, and I'm just going to put this guy here. So let's talk a little bit about the actual file structure. Oh, so in this case, the resolution, sorry. So we go here, read file, which is city, and this is an image that is 960 by 380. And we have this guy here, which is bigger, it's 2000 by 100, which is good because it's going to give us a lot more information, because we're only going to be needing this. All this is going to be wastage, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, okay, and I'm just going to cut it out, and I'm just going to put it on top. Okay, so if I, with nothing selected, I press M for merge, and I put this guy here, which is the B, and this is the guy that always gonna be on top, which is A. If I put these two guys here like that, and if I do this, seems like okay, nothing happened. It's like okay, I done some comp, but just remember that according to the class that we've been looking at in the theory, we need to have an alpha. If we're gonna put stuff on top, we need to have an alpha. So the moment this is a JPEG, you see it go RGB, but it hasn't got an alpha. This is an RGB, but it hasn't got an alpha. This image here, for example, the one I gave you originally here with this is going to go RGB and A and alpha, and it go a depth path, and it go more layers as well, the one that I showed you last week. So at the moment, this is the issue we're having. So there's no alpha. So we need to establish an alpha here, okay? But just remember that this guy is huge in comparison with this. Look at this, 2000 by 100, and this guy is 960 by 380. So we got the option, scale this down, scale this picture down, and then put it on top. So if we do that quickly here, we put a transform node here, because remember this go pipe here, and then we go that. So if we're gonna change where this guy scale from, at the moment this is like the pivot point where it's gonna be scaling from. If you wanna make the pivot point, for example, if I scale this down, you see it scale down from this point here, okay? So if I press Control and move this guy here all the way to the corner, and then I press Scale, now you see it's gonna scale from that point. So it's changing the pivot point, just like in Maya, okay? So you press Control, I'm just gonna put it here right in the middle, so it scales down there. So I can do this if I want to, okay? But let's first create a cutout. So I'm just gonna move this guy up here, okay? And I'm just gonna go here and press R, Roto, okay? So Roto. So roto here, okay? So I'm gonna go here and press a roto, okay? So we got this. Now I need to create my roto. Just by default, when you have this, you have this selector and you have this tool selected. And this is a tool. You right click here, you go all the tools that you need to create rotos, okay? Pretty much rotos, we're gonna create an alpha. We need to create an alpha for this. Ideally, if you render this out in if you render this out in Maya, then you will have a black and white image with the rest black and then just the image here, okay? But we're gonna create our own here because this is something that we've done here. Obviously, we haven't planned ahead. It's just something quickly just to show you the key concept. So you're gonna go here and click here. So you click and drag, you get this Bezier sort of curvature here. So you go this and get it smooth, okay? If you want it sharp, then you just click here, don't touch it, and then keep moving to the next one so it keeps it sharp. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here quickly. Obviously, if you do that with more time, okay, then you will get something more precise. Okay, so you have to go around the silhouette of the actual model here. So go that there. This is gonna be so quickly here that I'm gonna pay too much attention because this is something just to show you how can you quickly turn this into a sort of like a comp. There you go. Create this. Don't worry about the light there. We're gonna sort that out later on. And we got this here. So you just click and drag, you get this stuff. So the bigger it is, then the more curvature you can get. Okay, if you just click without touching, then you just create a normal sharp. The moment we're getting the round shape there, so we need to have a little bit of curvature. Okay, so we got this. Go there, and you got that. Okay. So at the moment, if I press A for alpha, this is what we get. You see, we get an alpha now. This is a black and white image we've been talking about. So whatever we put here, we put it on top, we scale it down, and then we put it on top. Then we should have scale here. Okay. But at the moment, this is only an alpha. Okay. So we will be going on week 3 when we talk about CGI elements and renders. What is something called pre-multiplication? But here for now, I just want you to know that you can do it directly here. So you have to do here is called pre-mult, and you say pre-mult by RGBA. See what happens? It cuts out everything that is outside. So pretty much it's multiplying, pre-multiplying. The black, you see, if you go this white thing, black multiply, which is 0, by any color, we're gonna give you 0. That's why it gets black. And white, which is 1, multiplied by any color, will give you the actual color, and that will be the actual thing here, the actual spacecraft. Okay. So and then now if we scale this down and then we put it on top, then it seems like it's much better now, but still you can see that if you double click here, you can see this guy is all the way there. So if you click here, we can drag him now. You see, so now we bring it inside because this guy is 2000 pixels by 1000 pixels and this guy is smaller, so we had to cut it out, scale it down. See, we scale it down already and we transform it. Okay, so we just looked it through here. This is where it is. Okay, so we got this guy. Now it's only being translated here. You see the translation. Now we need to scale it down here. So we're going to scale it down here like that, and we think, okay, aspect ratio is going to be that much. If you hover around this here, you can rotate. You can rotate here, or you can just use the scroll here. It's up to you, but I'm going to do it there. Okay, something like that. And then probably if you want, you can just click here and then scroll up, and you can just move it up if you want to. Okay, it's up to you. Okay, and probably it's too high, so I want to have it in frame. Scroll there. Probably I need to scale it down a little bit more, probably like that. And you can move it well from here if you want to. Just gonna put it here. So see, at the moment the problem is that this guy is at the front of the actual building, but we're gonna sort that out in a minute. So suppose this is what we want. Okay, so the moment we just go successfully put this stuff on top of this stuff. Okay, now the first thing we need to address probably is obviously we need to sort this out. Okay, and we need to probably continue these lines here around if we want to, but we're gonna see that in class, and I will show you how to I will probably give you the actual file that I have with this, with all the comps and stuff, and I want you to analyze it. Okay, so the moment, the first thing that I'm noticing is that look at the light. Obviously this was only an image from the internet, so there's nothing taken care of in terms of proper lighting, but you can see here you got a highlight, which means that the sun is coming from this side. But if you see the picture, the sun is coming from this side. Okay, so which means that this guy is flipped. Even though there is some lighting here, that's not correct, but here is more prominent. You can see a proper specular highlight. So we need to flip this guy, and there is a node for that. And if you just put it here, we say transform. Sorry, we say, I think it's called mirror. Yeah, mirror. So we click here, put it there. We can flip it here. So we can do it, because we did it before the transform. You see how they're talking about the way it works. We put it before, it mirror before, and then translate. We probably want to put it here at the end, which is after it translates. So I'm just gonna put it here and then flip it, and it goes worse. So now let's see what this guy is. It's all the way there. So probably what we can do is let's undo this, and I put it here. So I get this. Just gonna go here, flip it vertically, and what I have to do is just go into the transform and then readjust this, because now I flipped it. Now it's different, so I think it's easier to do it here. So I'm just gonna put it back roughly what it was. Move this guy down there. That's fine. So this guy sort of matches this. So now in terms of perspective and terms of that, you know, you see the lines there going the perspective, and this guy sort of, it sort of matches the perspective. So that's why I found this picture quite interesting. Now, so what I have to do is, first of all, this guy doesn't match much, because this guy is a bit like, this is too saturated. You can see that the image here is quite desaturated. So we can quickly go here into the original image and then just desaturate the whole thing. So we're just gonna put it here at the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna put, there's a little note called color correct. Okay, we're gonna see more color correction in the I think week 7 or 8. But here we're just gonna quickly just put it here. So it's pretty straightforward. You just go here, you go on master, you can do the shadow, the midtone, the highlight, your saturation, contrast, gamma, gain, offset, just like Photoshop. So just gonna knock down the saturation. Obviously, you got it all the way down, it's gonna be black and white. So we need to go and pump it up a little bit until we see a little bit of color, but it's not crazy in terms of the actual color, because at the moment if we put it too much, you see it's way too much, but we were around here. So we just want to knock down those yellows a little bit, and then put it just right somewhere around there. Okay, so that seems to be fitting quite well there. So in terms of the value, okay, if I think you press L, I think not L, that's the one for luminance. I think it's, let me see, you go RGBA and luminance Y actually. So you press Y, you get the luminance. So you can see that this guy here, look at the luminance of this guy, the value. These guys are quite light here because they're in the foreground, and they are supposed to be darker. Things in the foreground are darker according to the theory behind perspective, atmospheric perspective. But this guy, because it's in the background, should be less such, or to have less value than it is now. The moment you go a value that is too high, it looks like it's actually right in front of the camera. So we have to make it look like it's way above or way behind this building. It's a massive object or something. It's fairly like probably twice as big as these buildings in terms of diameter. So what we have to do is I'm gonna press red for red and then go back to red again, and it goes back to the original color. So this guy, we established, you press Y, that the value is too high, so we need to bring it back to a lighter value. What we can do is you go here in the color correction. I think one of these one will do it, probably the gamma. I think the gamma will probably be too much because it will knock down everything. So probably contrast is now, probably we can lower the contrast a little bit so it's less contrasted, but I think it's offset. Yeah, offset is the one that we can probably knock down. So pump it up, and it looks like it's behind the sort of like the mist, the clouds. But I think if you press Y again, this guy does help, but it's still a little bit. So we can probably make it look like something like this. Let's see what it looks like here. We press Y again. It looks like it's there, but it's not too much. But put a little bit more. And then what we have to do is probably give a little bit of the color around. You got this color here is pretty much just very, very blue. So we can probably add a little bit of that color to this. And here with the offset, we can do that. Just remember, this is something quickly here. We're going to do this more in detail, where we explain the actual nodes, how to use these little knobs here, which are quite interesting. So what you can do, you can sample a color. You can click here the color picker, the eyedropper. If I click here, it seems like nothing happened. Okay, because at the moment I got this picture, and this picture is the one on top, and it got nothing to. So I'm pretty much, this is the foreground and this is the background. So if I click here, then I think you press Control, click here, and it picks it up here. So Control click. So you press Control click, Control Shift here. You can pick a color for the background. You see, if I pick this color that is darker here, then you give me a different value. So I think I have to pick something that is probably around here. Okay, that give me that. So I can probably come here and then knock down this a little, not too much. Probably less blue is too much blue, like that. And then less, you can knock this down, less blue and less green. A little bit more blue and green. And then knock down the yellow. That's something like that. Okay, and then probably the luminance here like that. Okay, so now that seems now to fit a bit more into the actual. This obviously is something quickly. There's a lot of problems here, obviously, because this was not shot for, or this was not probably planned to do it, to use it with this sort of setup. But here I press Y, and you can see that the value of this guy is way lower than the value of this guy, which means that they're far away. So that we're on the right path. Okay, so that's that. So the next thing that I probably would like to do is probably fix this issue here. Okay, we're gonna see more in depth about rotors in class, but here quickly, just remember that this white bit here is because the actual, the rotor was done very quickly. But what I can do now is going to fix this guy and then just put this stuff here on top. Okay, so I'm gonna going back to this guy here, original here. Okay, I'm just gonna look at this guy, and I'm just gonna create a rotor for this guy. So I'm gonna go here, rotor. Okay, so rotors, we're just gonna create an alpha. That's it, an alpha. So I'm gonna take here, default it works. It's because this is make a sort of hard edges thing. I'm not gonna click and drag. I'm just gonna click here, so I get straight lines. You see, if I click and drag, then I'll start getting smooth stuff. So I'm just gonna quickly here get this on there. Okay, it's gonna go here. Control Z undo. So you can do this with more time and detail. You can pick your own pictures and stuff. And here. And here, just gonna knock it down here like that, because that's. And we get this. Okay, so we get A. That's it. If we hit here this button pre-multiply RGBA, we only get this. Okay, Now this guy, we need to put it on top of this guy, you see, because it's the same image. So now if we take, remember this is only a quick fix stuff. I'm pretty sure there are more efficient way to do that, but just doing here guys, so we can use less nodes. So I'm just gonna press here control and I can get this button here. So I got this guy here, I can put it on top. So nothing selected, I press M, merge, and now I'm gonna put, this is the pipe that goes behind the background, and this is the foreground, so I'm gonna move it to here. So I like to always put the A on the left hand side, because the stuff that goes on top. So if I do this, and I leave it with the default over, you see, now what I did was I put this guy on top. See? Put this guy on top right there, so I can cut it out. So now this guy is in the foreground, so now I start making a bit more sense visually. See, before, so you press here spacebar, you say okay, that's not bad, but then here if you get rid of this, then automatically your eyes get, your brain get confused, it doesn't know where it is. So this is fine, this is fine. Probably the saturation, probably I might have to do a little bit less saturation. Let's see, double click here and then knock this down to saturate it here. Okay, that's fine. Probably contrast a little bit more there. That's fine. Now the next thing that probably I would like to do is that, look at this, these guys are quite sharp. These guys are quite sharp, or they got different sharpness. But this guy here, it looks like he's way too sharp to be in the front. So the camera probably all the way there will not be able to capture this much detail. So we need to blur this guy a little bit. So what I can do it right here at the end. I just press tab and I go here, blur, and I put blur here. And again, I'm just gonna blur a little bit. So probably, if you put too much, obviously it gets out and it just disappears. You see. So what I can do is I can probably take it out a little bit, not too much. Probably the moment is this, but then knock it up, pump it up to about 1. So I'm just gonna say probably less, 1 pixel. Let's see if this makes any sense. Let's see. If you want to disable it now, you just double click here and press D, disable, so you can see what it looks like with and without. The moment less than 1 pixel doesn't do anything. Less than a pixel it does something, you see. It's a bit blurred. So 1 pixel. So now we have this. Okay, so now it makes a little bit more sense. So you got this, now it's a bit blurred, so we mean that it's far away. Okay. So now probably ideally if we have this, then we probably would like to sort out these lines around. So there's a really nice node called the gut ray you can use. Obviously there's better solution for that, but I think if we put here type gut rays. Okay, so you go, where is it going? Oh, there it is, put it right at the end because how does select. So if I take this here, this guy here, which is the actual just the spacecraft, I put gut ray. You got two things here, center and translate. I think if you move this guy here to the middle and then you put translate here, you put it up, I can't remember how this works because to play around with it until, so you play around with this stuff. I think you have to put it down like this, I suppose. There you go, so you get this down here, put it all the way down there probably. You can find out more about this in the website with the notes that I gave you. So I think if you put this and then you put I think you go sort of gamma to color, get the color from color, so you put here, give you that, so we have to do probably a -1, so it does no, so it does 2 color. Okay, you got that's this, so it gets a little fade out there. This stepping is because we need more steps here, so you put 10 and get smoother. So you get these. Now if you got this stuff here, and then you got this, we can put this stuff on top to make it look a little bit more atmospheric. So at the moment this one here has this, which is an alpha. Okay, you see, because we blur gut rays, it says blur everything. Okay, so if you put only RGB, you see it doesn't blur the RGB, the alpha. Only if you put all, it blurs everything. So we can put this guy on top. So we say press M, put this guy here, and then we can go here and put this guy right on top. Okay, so you got that and that. Let's see what it gave us. It gave us nothing. So let's see. Okay, so there's here A, 1A. I think. Let me see what happened when you don't do it. does give you a little bit there, but it's not much. Okay, so as that, probably we need to increase the intensity of this gamma. You can put it more, you see, we'll get more stuff in there. Yeah, so we got that. And let's see, let me do something else with it. Gamma, and then we can probably give a little bit of blue tint or yellow tint, or a little yellow tint there, not too much. And then the intensity, there's a way to change the intensity of this. Step in from color. You can get this stuff here. And scale, rotate, channel, steppings, max. Give me max this, I don't like this. You can probably knock this down a little bit like this. No, that was a lot like that, so I'm just gonna knock all the way up there. Let's put a little bit of this there. So we got that. Now if we go see the last one, because we've got this alpha now is behind. Okay, this is obviously, this one doesn't make sense here, but we can prove that. But I think if we, there's another node that we can probably help. If you put here say glow and make that stuff glow a little bit, so it's all brighter. But obviously, you do too much, it's just, so brightness is going to be really bright. But I think it's wait, I think it's a bit. This is a bit more stuff in there. Just got that, and now that's what it looks like. And the glow goes on. So you got that. Okay, so that's looking a bit more like it's quite far away. But at the moment, we have this issue here. Okay, and that's because this stuff is supposed to be all the way at the back. This makes sense fine, but this one doesn't make sense because here you have this building that is on the front. So this is looking good. Now we need to take this guy and then go here and do the same that we did with this. So we got this stuff. So you got this. So I'm gonna, if I can see the rest, so I want to see the rest. I'm just gonna go and do the alphas. Okay, so I'm just gonna go here, but I'm just gonna uncheck. It said none, so I can see the rest, and then I want to pre-multiply at the end. So I'm gonna create another rotor for this. Select this, select the tool again, and then create a quick rotor here. So I'm just gonna go here and create here. There, obviously, it's just fine. Just remember that this is just something very quickly. So we can just get you up and running, guys. So you remember that a lot of this is just practice and eye. So just gonna come, just see again. And I'm just gonna knock it down, and then I will put it all the way here. Okay. And now we have 2. Press A. Now you have 2. So we're gonna pre-multiply by RGBA. Now they are multiplied, and then we put it on top. And now, you see, now before and after. That makes more sense. I say here is got an issue because the stuff wasn't big enough. The rotor. So you can do is go here, go into the original, which is this, and then I'm just gonna put it back to none, so I can see it. And then I'm just gonna take this point and then move it all the way down here. Okay. If you were, when you were working in the future with moving stuff, then we have to make sure that this is animated. So at the moment, obviously we need to go here and press RGBA. So now this guy, it looks more like it's in the background. So it fits much better. So you got this stuff in the background there, a spacecraft. The background looks quite dramatic, and you got stuff here that goes in the foreground. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. So we put color a little bit, with a bit of atmosphere, and we put just basic stuff on top. This is only, obviously, it's only just a single image. If you're working with something that is way more complicated, like a camera and stuff, then you need to think about what you're gonna do. So the moment you're having this issue as well, because we did it rotor so quickly, I'm getting pixels from the background, and those pixels from the background doesn't make much sense with this stuff there. So you can see this edge here. But that's more advanced stuff. At the moment, that should do it. The only thing that I don't like at the moment is that there is a highlight here, which is fine, but now I got another highlight here. Because remember, this is only a picture, so we only put that stuff in there. But if you wanna sort of make sense with this, then you just have to go and probably create a rotor here, and then go do a color grading, and then grade only this side. But that's something we're gonna see when we do grading in the future. But at the moment, don't worry about that. I just want you to know that there are stuff that you can do here quickly. You see, this is something that took a few minutes, or well, 20 minutes or so, and then you can get something pretty quickly. At the moment, this is got this light here. Obviously, there should be something much better that's spread out. At the moment, you just go straight down. But if you hear in the background, probably here as well, you have to probably create a roto here for this, so it doesn't go on top of this. Because at the moment, this is fine, but as long as you start looking here, say, oh, actually, this is on the front, so you can create a roto for this. Okay, and at the moment here, if you want, you can just probably put some sort of helicopters flying around all the way here or something, and then something like that, checking out what's happening. Okay, so that's that, and I think this is a pretty good thing. So I'm just gonna press Y to see luminance again. You can see now that these guys go a darker value, even though they're higher. That's because they go a highlight. But if you see this like this, then probably you can see if you press you type blur here, then you blur this stuff quite a lot and turn it into blur. You can see here this stuff is, this stuff here is darker. This is sort of whiter. But here, the stuff in the background, once you blur, you can see that you cannot hardly see it. It's the same value. This value is the same value as this, which means that's roughly in the same sort of spectrum and in terms of distance. So that's quite important, guys. So if you put the stuff here and you put it quite dark, it doesn't matter how much stuff you put to it in terms of rotors, it will not make any sense because it's too dark. So if I disable this, press D, I press Y again, so going back to color. So automatically this looks way more cinematic. Automatically this thing here. So you got there. So if you want to improve it, and then put some clouds or something, or there is an invasion. Couldn't say that word. And then you can put some sort of like a smoke and stuff, or fires taking place, or just getting some sort of tell a little bit of a story. This, but this is sort of like this technique is pretty much what you do when the things like District 9, when they did the stuff. You see the spacecraft look very big in the background. That's how they do it, man. It's only just tricking the eye. Okay, not biggie. But the moment you see this, it looks way more interesting. So at the end, probably you can just go and color grade the whole thing. So you go here and put a grade, and again we're gonna see grades at the end, but we talk a bit more about color correction. I think it's week 7 or something, or week 8. So I'm gonna put an extra gray here, and I can probably give it a tonal to this. You can probably change the gamma here, make it a little bit more contrasty or something. And then this seems to be like the afternoon, so we can give it a little bit of probably a warm look. So we click here and then just give it a little bit of warmth there, so you can knock it down. It looks like it's late in the afternoon. And then make it, I don't know, darker here, so you can see. So that will be automatically a bit more like, I don't know, a bit more like Michael Bay stuff. You just need some robot jumping around, then you are in Transformer. So so that's it for now, guys. This is something that I wanted to do with you guys. We will be doing this in the class anyway, but I'm going to want to have this for you guys, so you can have this to play around on your own time. I'm just gonna stop it right here now, and I will probably put together this file, and I will share it with you, and the two files and the actual folder structure for week 2, so you can play around with it. But again, like I said, you just need some fixes. Probably I will encourage you to get rid of this highlight, do some research how to do it, and then probably put some sort of extra stuff like a helicopter on the way there to check it out, or a little bit of mini helicopter you can see in the way background. So just need to gauge how far this stuff is, and probably create a rotor as well to get rid of this sort of haze here. The haze at the moment is this stuff is going all the way to the bottom here. And that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the class. Thank you. Bye bye.